What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the NerdWide podcast. This is episode 35, and I'm your host, Tyler Haynes, with my friend, my main man, the co host right here, Mr. Chris Rivers. How are you, sir?
Doing pretty good. How are you doing?
Well, funny you should ask. If you haven't noticed, we've taken a little 2 week hiatus, much like Superman and Lois, apparently. Uh,
Yeah.
so, Thursday prior, I started coming down with something. I thought it was a just a little allergy related nonsense. Come to find out, it was not. It was some sort of virus, not the virus. I got tested. I'm good. But all of last week, I sounded like I was going through puberty and felt like absolute nonsense. But starting to slowly get better. So we're here. We're here. We're fine. We're doing okay. How are you? How's life?
Good. Life is about the same. About the same. Yeah. I uh I've been I haven't been avoiding the Olympics, but I just haven't felt the need to watch.
How
Uh
un-American.
we c- we we kind of they're based on Greek games, all right? So I
Right.
don't know how uh but we talked a little bit before the show about how the Simone Biles stuff is going and people's reaction to her doing what's best for her, and that just kind of put me over the top. I was like, I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
So
Well, we got
I just took myself out of it.
we're recording Monday the 2nd of August, and she did say this morning she is going to do the vault beam, I think, or the beams or something like that, and which is the
Yeah.
last competition. So she'll do fine in that. She'll win gold and just shut all the haters up. But it's been great. I love the Olympics, and I had a little bit of a watch party for the opening night, which was okay. Nintendo pulled out apparently last minute, but they were going to have all of their IP there, like Mario, Legend of Zelda, Link, and everything. But apparently they pulled out last minute, and it
So
was
no
not the
Nintendo babies.
right. And they didn't have. It was okay as far as the opening nights go. Not my favorite, but it'll do. Let's talk about that here in a minute. Let's get some quick housekeeping out of the way. Don't forget to subscribe to either our YouTube or podcasting services of your choice. If you enjoy the show, make sure you leave us a thumbs up on YouTube or give us a good rating for podcasting apps. If you don't enjoy what you see or hear, make sure you leave us a comment. Let us know what it is that we can improve upon and what you don't like, and how we can improve the show. Again, we can't improve or fix anything if you don't tell us what it is. But if you want to do
Right.
more, you can always go to patreon.com/nerdwide. There's a couple of tiers. You could throw a couple of bucks our way if you want to do that way as well. So we've got 2 weeks of news to talk about here, which is oddly enough not hardly anything in gaming and not hardly anything in TV. Of course, movies is our biggest thing. But if you remember our last episode, we talked about doing a little bit of homework with our TV shows and doing Doom Patrol. So I want to talk about everything else I've been watching before we get right into that one. Of course, I've been watching the Olympics nonstop. It's just always been on, either on my computer screen or on TV. Of course, with our normal Big Brother that I watch, and Bachelorette. Chris, we've got 2 weeks and it's done. Just
Wow.
letting you know.
For
Um,
good.
we've got started Ted
Oh,
Lasso season 2 started, and we're 2 episodes down. We're to the point now we wish we would have waited until we could binge watch everything because it's just a bingeable show, and we're already
yeah.
committed to 2 episodes, so we're just going to keep watching it week by week. And then to keep it relevant to this show, season 7 of The Flash dropped last Friday, and I've already got 4 episodes to go and I'm done. So
Cool.
it's
Was it a 16 episode season?
18.
18?
And this was the one where COVID impacted it. So when the finale of season 6 happened, it didn't really feel like a finale. And then they wrapped it
Mm.
all up into 3 episodes. Like I'm already past where Cisco is off the show now, Harrison Wells is off the show now, and we've got this new cast. They were there in season 6,
Did
and it's
did you avoid spoilers
yes. So
for the
I don't know
finale?
anything's going on.
I saw them because I wasn't going to be able to watch it anytime soon, so I was like, I'll just read it. Why not?
Yeah.
So let me tell you what happens. No.
Let me ruin it for you real quick. Um, so Doom Patrol. I am 5 episodes into the first season. Obviously, whatever illness took over me last week is took over all my watching time, and then the Flash came out, and I just kind of been binge watching it. I'm trying to think of what's going on. I just finished the Mark Shepard arc. I'm pretty sure where with the sacrificial the book and like the guys, the little kids, the book or something like that. It's been I guess 2 weeks
Hmm.
since I've watched it, but it's okay.
So
Do it.
I have to be very careful about what I say then, because I finished the first two seasons. So
Oh, so you've already finished it all.
yeah.
So I've
So I'm
so Cyborg's well, not really officially part of the team, but like he's still defying his dad and being on the team and being over here helping. And
hmm
it's different. I like the narrator. I'm assuming he's the big bad of the first season. I forget the Mr. Nothing or Mr. Nobody.
yeah,
And
Mr. Nobody.
it's a pretty decent show. Like it got real gory there for a minute, and I love Brendan Fraser, and it's
Uh-huh.
just hadn't got its teeth sunk into me quite yet, but I'm still enjoying it. How's your experience been with
It's
it?
I really loved it. It's I think I was in 7 episodes into the first season or so when I texted you and I was like, it's an ensemble, so it reminds me and it has a good bit of humor, so it reminds me a lot of Legends in
Yeah.
those two ways. But it gets to be darker, gorier, with more adult language. It does have nudity that pops up occasionally,
Mm-hmm. First episode.
and and it pops up again
Oh, good.
throughout some other episodes. Uh, so, but it gets to be like the grown-up version of Legends
Yeah.
in a sense, um, which I like Legends, so that's perfect for me. But it's got a really good cast. I like the way that they have Matt Bomer voicing Larry, and you see him as Larry in the
Mm-hmm.
flashbacks, but it's a different actor who portrays Larry when he's wrapped in
Just sitting
bandages.
there. All he
Same,
is just a body.
yeah, it's same thing with Brendan Fraser as Cliff. He voices the character. It's someone different in the wardrobe, but you see him as the character in flashbacks. Um, it's a really good ensemble too. I don't know with where you're at in the series. I would say I would say Jane probably steals the show.
Mm.
That's extremely. It's got to be a hard part to play because she's got what is it, 64 different
Right. And
personalities,
she plays
and
each of them.
each one has its own superpower
Must be nice.
or own meta ability from where she was experimented on. So yeah, it gets better. Um, Mark Shepard comes back. Um, you get. I'm trying to think. The first season's like 15 episodes.
Okay.
Um, and then the second one, I guess, was hit by COVID because it's only like 9 or 10. But they're about to drop season three soon-ish. Titans drops season three. Is it later this month?
I think we got 2 weeks, August 12th, or 10 days from now. And I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh god, I
So,
can't wait.
and of course, this launched off of Titans. They did the backdoor pilot as a Titans episode where we saw where Beast Boy was staying, and
Right.
he has not appeared in Doom Patrol.
And that was weird because I haven't even mentioned any of the Titans or like that room that Beast Boy was living in. They haven't even shown it off or anything.
Right.
So I was like,
And I
that's kind
think
of weird.
because we're that's one thing I kept thinking as I was watching some of the episodes. where are we in the timeline?
Right.
Because we got the characters' origin stories, um, but it's a weird timeline. I think we haven't gotten to Beast Boy yet.
That would make sense.
I don't think he's been there. Um, but I would have to. I don't know. I'd
Uh,
have to see if there's anything about that online.
I wish, because I'm pretty sure none of the like Doom Patrol or Titans are part of the multiverse, the Arrowverse, whatever you want to call it. I wish it was, but like Titans is going
Well,
to Gotham this next season, and
uh-huh.
I don't know if they're going to mention Batwoman or anything because none of that has
I
been said. It's a different Batman too, so I don't know.
I thought they were part of the
So that's what I thought too. But
Arrowverse
like with them going to
because
Gotham, I don't know.
Berlanti is an executive producer on them.
Right. Let's it's just a quick
So
quick search away. Let's see.
unless he's doing what he did with Black Lightning and he's saying we're not gonna put it in there now, we'll let you know when we decide to cross it over.
Right.
And maybe that's what happens with Titans going to Gotham.
So as of January 15th, 2020, they are Crisis on Infinite Earth confirms Titans and Doom Patrol are not connected. They're set in different uh, universes, I guess. So
That sucks.
yeah. But then like June 27th of 2020, they're they are part of the multiverse. Titans is on Earth 9 and Doom Patrol is on Earth 20. Well, that doesn't make any sense. How is Titans on Earth 9 and Doom Patrol on Earth 21 if they've already linked up? Anyways, internet's
Yeah,
weird.
that didn't.
So, but yeah, Doom Patrol. I'll probably start it back once I finish Flash this week and knock out. Should be able to knock out the first season before we record again. But another show that we have been watching that is also on a 2 week hiatus again is Superman and Lois. We watched the most recent episode. Failsafe was its episode. Name ratings. It was 0.15 down from 0.18.
Uh-huh.
Not really going to go through our normal hero verse for it. Not hero verse. Is it hero verse?
Hero
Yeah,
cravings,
yeah, hero cravings. But too much verses going on. And
right?
this episode I enjoyed a lot better than the one prior. I did not think I would,
Hmm.
but again, it had more of a Smallville feel to it, and I'm just I really want this season to end and them to film season two, and it be
Different.
yeah, they need to do a different direction, at least to me. But when I'm seeing everyone else's reactions to it, they're loving it. Like people are absolutely loving this show, and I'm like, it just doesn't have that Arrowverse feel for me,
Right.
which I know is kind of their thing. But if somehow next
Well,
season we don't get Supergirl in it, especially with her show ending, I don't I don't know how it's gonna work.
yeah. It, again, we talked about it one episode ago. Some of the stuff that has been mentioned, some of the things that they've dealt with, to not say, hey, maybe Kara can help,
Right.
to not even bring it up as an option.
And,
Um,
or why
it,
even
it,
John Henry Irons isn't concerned about her being on this Earth
right,
now.
right. I mean, Supergirl exists.
Right.
It's well known. Um, but they haven't even gone that direction with it. And it's, it's like you got it. We know that this is in the same universe,
Right.
right? Tyler Hoechlin played Superman
Mm-hmm.
on Supergirl. Why are you not obvious references have to they don't have to deliver on it. You don't have to have Supergirl show up. But if someone mentions her as like, "Hey, can she help?" It's like, "Well, actually she's
Yeah, she's dealing with.
dealing with this right now."
Yeah,
Okay.
she's tied up
It's
with this world's Lex
acknowledged.
Luthor.
It's it's piss poor writing
Yeah,
is what it is.
it's
And it needs to be better.
I
That's all it.
last episode we had, I said that felt like the finale to me, and they're
Yeah.
still going on. We have 2 episodes left, and I'm like, I mean,
So
I understand where we're at. And again, I enjoyed this episode much more than the previous one, and the CGI was better. The boys were actually had something to do, and it actually felt like Smallville. Both of them being grounded, and
no.
yeah, it's uh, like
uh,
I want Jonathan
so
to don that suit so bad from John Henry Irons, but we'll see.
so the thing is, I told you before the show started that I didn't accidentally watch this episode twice. I accidentally started it a second time because I wasn't aware that they had gone back into a hiatus. Um, what I didn't say is that all week long I forgot about Superman and Lois.
Because it's just not
It didn't
memorable.
cr it didn't cross my mind, and I was sitting there and we decided, when we were going to record, and I'm like, "Oh, I need to watch that for this week." Like 4 hours before we're recording. And it's the same
Yeah,
episode, and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
yeah. The
And it took a minute because there's part of me going, "Does it just seem like the same episode because we've kind of had that happen, or is it no, it's really the same episode." Okay. Um, I We say it every week. Um, they need to drop some of these other storylines.
mm-hmm.
They aren't necessary. And I get it. The fire department wants what's his name, Kyle,
Yeah, and just that
or
storyline doesn't make any
they.
sense to me at all. Like the whole town is hating on him for backing Edge. I mean, the same thing happened to him, and the like it happened to everybody else. He was just trying to help the city out, and he got burnt the same way y'all did.
I think he's about to sacrifice himself.
I could see that and make the town believe bad.
Uh huh.
And then they'll do a
Yeah.
whole little storyline arc for. No, I think he's confirmed for season 2. The actor.
They could bring him back though,
Mm.
in some other
It's the Arrowverse.
capacity.
No one ever stays dead. So, uh,
They could. He could make the gesture of sacrificing himself and then
right.
uh, be saved from dying by Superman or something.
Finds out it's Clark. Again, painfully obvious who he is.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is titled The Eradicator because we are still on The Eradicator in that storyline. Um,
What What do you think is going on, by the way? Because at the end of this episode, um, Morgan Edge flies up into space,
mhm.
and it's like he's absorbing the sun.
Yeah, he's, I guess, just getting more powerful. I mean, I've got no idea. I've got, I'm at a loss with lore and or anything's going to happen with it, honestly.
But apparently, this was his father's plan. Apparently, the plan of turning Superman was his plan, based on what we saw early in the episode, right? Because
Hmm.
he's like me. He wanted company, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and this was his father's plan, and he makes the comment when speaking with his father's hologram that he'd rather do it his way because he doesn't want to have to die
Right.
doing it his father's way. So apparently, this is going to kill him ultimately. Um, so I don't know. I'm curious how this plays out. But we keep getting the Superman is worried that he's going to flip
Mm-hmm.
dialogue. This is still there, so he'll be pushed to his breaking point. And
Yeah. 4434 is still. He said, "I'm going to take it." The general said, "I'm going to destroy it all." Superman's like, "Nah, I'd keep it," which again, that whole storyline I've never understood. Yes, I would keep it too. Duh. I mean, there's so many things
Yeah.
that like there's other Kryptonians, there's other things that could Superman could flip. I don't know why it's such a big deal to not keep it, but
Right.
yeah, to each their own. Uh, 2 more episodes, and it'll be done for the first season.
Yeah.
Don't know how we're gonna
Then what are
stretch
we
it out.
doing?
We'll have to figure that out. Well, the Titans will be back.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the Titans will be
Doom
back.
Patrol probably not long after that, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure how. I don't know if Titans does it weekly. I don't think they do it weekly on HBO Max. So they just dump it
They
all.
just dropped
Yeah,
theirs. So, yeah.
we'll have to figure something out
Well,
then,
yeah.
because that's gonna be one of those
We could
shows that
always,
I just want to binge the absolute nonsense out of.
yeah.
Because I love that.
But we could talk about an episode a week
And we can do that.
or 2 episodes a week or something.
I've got, speaking of two, Chris, I've only got 2 news stories here. Well, 4 news stories, 2 with articles. First one is HBO's The Last of Us adds Fringe's Anna Torv to play Tess. We're going to
Mm.
Deadline.com by Alexandra Del Rosario. Fringe alum Anna Torv has joined the cast of HBO's Last of Us in a recurring role opposite Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey. The series, based on the widely popular 2014 PlayStation game of the same name, hails from Chernobyl's Craig Mazin and The Last of Us creator Neil Druckmann. If you've played the game or know anything about the game, future spoilers, she doesn't last long. So I wonder how many episodes is they're going to span this out, if you know what I mean, just until we get her done.
Did you ever watch Fringe?
No, much to my wife's dismay. No, I watched the first 2 episodes, couldn't get into it, and dropped it. Now I can't find it anywhere to watch it, and she's very upset with me about it. So,
I I actually enjoyed it. I think I watched the first 3 seasons,
yeah, I mean, I've heard
and
it's a
then
good show. I just when I'm at the time
yeah.
when I was watching, I just couldn't get into it, and
Uh,
now they don't have access to it anywhere to watch it like I want to or need to. Second news story, Netflix is developing a live action Pokemon series. We're going back to Deadline.com for this one by Denise Petsky. Netflix is in early development of a live action Pokemon series based on the popular trading card, sources close to project tell Deadline. There are no details yet, but we're told Lucifer co-showrunner and EP Joe Henderson is attached to write the series and EP. Netflix and
mm,
reps for Henderson would not comment. So this has got a lot of people excited because the live action movie was really well done, and
mm.
Netflix is with their
Detective
gaming properties are
Pikachu.
just doing great. So,
Yeah.
and speaking of Netflix, Netflix's Sweet Tooth is officially confirmed for a second season, and then
Tyler's favorite show.
yeah, just another show I could not get into. But good for them. Robert Downey Jr. is really excited about it, obviously. But um, our last one here is that Disney Plus's Hawkeye series is to premiere November 24th, which begs the question: when are we getting Miss Marvel? Are we getting her this year?
Mm.
Because you got to think it's gonna. This will run
Well,
over what 6 or 7 episodes.
when does the Captain Marvel movie come out?
It's either late next year or summer of next year, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's gonna be late next year because they're not even filming yet.
So we'll probably get the Miss Marvel series early next year because I don't know if this is news. I think I've read it multiple times. Kamala Khan is going to be in the
Yeah,
movie.
because it's called The Marvel, so we've
Oh,
got Photon in there as
yeah.
well.
Yeah, so they're going to want to set all that up and get her origin story told.
Yeah.
So probably early to mid next year.
So, because I mean, it was supposed to be one of the ones that came out this year. At least it's what it was slated for.
Oh,
But
we're sitting here talking about what are we going to talk about? What if?
oh, that's right, we do have that coming out two
We have
weeks, I
What If
think, as
coming
well.
out.
I've heard so
So
the
that and
first,
Titans.
yeah, I'm sure I think it's the same week actually. Ooh, busy week. This is like our because our shows and everything are starting to ramp back up. I know Flash season 8 comes out end of this month, I think, or something like that. But the first three, the people, the media and press has gotten the first three episodes of What If. BD, of
Uh-huh.
course, our buddy from comicbook.com. So the first episode didn't grab him. The second one grabbed him a lot, and the third one was pretty good as well. So, which concerns me if the
Did
first episode doesn't grab BD. I don't know what that's going to mean for me because a lot of our reviews and thoughts and stuff line up with him. So,
have they indicated what the first episode is?
mm-mm. They haven't said anything.
They haven't teased that at all. It's 2 weeks out.
Yeah, I, we,
you'd
I
think
don't know
they'd
if we'll
say
get another
something.
trailer for it. I mean, we still don't even have a trailer for Spider Man, and that's blowing my mind. Same thing with Hawkeye. We don't have a trailer. Well, we'll get a trailer for it. I'd say in September, but
Yeah. Eh,
releases from July 26th to August 8th for TV. The only biggest thing I could find was Friday, July 30th. Outer Banks season 2 dropped on Netflix. But that's all I've got for not a big TV
word.
news week. Big movie weeks. So
Yeah. Speaking of movies, so um, Tyler made me watch Space Jam 2.
I made me watch that as well. If we're to be fairly honest,
Um,
poor choice.
I yeah, I did give it a 3 on Letterbox just because um there were some good performances in there.
Yeah,
Um, I I know one of the complaints that I've heard that I wholeheartedly agree with was it was a complete like I couldn't enjoy the game at the end
no.
because it was all this stuff with, oh, you got style points and you got the like what happened to just having a basketball game?
Yeah, that was a
You
lot
know,
of people's
keep
complaints too. It's just made up rules. You know what I mean?
right. Don Cheadle did really good though.
In
Like
my
I
opinion,
thought he
the best performance out of the whole movie.
yeah. Um I I did think it was funny. I'm not sure how much LeBron had to say about this or how much he had to do with it. Um, they took some shots at him in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
They like really even, of course, the big one was we found Michael Jordan because the teams,
Michael B. Jordan. I loved it.
but it's just it's like they commented on how many times he's jumped around to different teams to
Mm-hmm.
join super teams. There's all these little mentions of things that LeBron's done. Even in the opening, they show that clip from his announcement special, taking my talents to South Beach. And it's like that's something that people have pointed at as a reason that a lot of people don't like him was that special
Yeah.
when he made that announcement. And yet they throw it back in there. I did like the bit at the beginning when he's on the court with the kids and you have the machine over there, and every time they say ball, it
It's just,
kicks the ball
right.
out. And the oldest kid, he keeps using the word ball, so it keeps like hitting him in the head with balls. That was good. Um, I didn't like when they made the tunes puppets, basically,
Mm-hmm.
when they weren't tunes anymore. They looked creepy. Wile E. Coyote especially looked creepy.
Did you have a little what was that movie we watched with Jack or Nick oh, what was that movie? The animatronic one. Oh, the Nicolas Cage one we watched.
Oh,
Wonderland.
Wally's
What was
Wonderland.
it? Did you have little flashbacks to that one?
No, but it was. Probably should have now that you mention it. This I don't know. There was a lot about this that was forgettable, and even in the basketball game, LeBron didn't do a whole lot.
Mm-mm.
It was just there wasn't a whole lot for him to do throughout the movie, actually. A lot of it fell to other people, and maybe that was his schedule,
Yeah.
and they just worked it in. It's not gonna make me forget the original. I'll put it
No,
that way.
there was no like good music in this one either.
No.
Like when you think of Space Jam,
Well,
there's like two or
that's
three
because they
songs to it.
used that's because they used modern music. Uh, but no, it's just not very good. I gave it a 3, like I said, because I mean it was entertaining to watch in spots, but it wasn't the original.
Yeah.
So,
Jamie and I watched it. Of course, we both have watched the original Space Jam back in our youth, and it. I did not like this movie. Like the whole time I was watching, I was like, "Is this not over yet?" I mean, we got to the big game at the end, and just nonsense after nonsense kept happening, and I'm like,
hmm
LeBron is being a terrible dad to this kid. Like,
yeah,
it's celebrating and everything. I know it's his kids thing. It's just being a parent watching this movie was just not easy to watch. And I felt like some of the most interesting things was me trying to look in the background at the little characters like Iron Giant, King
uh-huh,
Kong, the Game of Thrones, White Walkers, and stuff like that. I was paying attention to more than I was the actual game at the end.
yeah.
And I mean, like I said earlier, Don Cheadle's probably the best part about this whole film. And
You do find yourself rooting for the kid.
yeah, it's just I was okay with it, and the little commentators weren't that good. I didn't find them interesting that they pulled in from the real world to narrate the game, and I was like,
Oh, Ernie Johnson
yeah,
and I can't remember who the other guy was.
I just felt like they were not really cringy. They just weren't good. They just didn't seem
I
believable.
I did like Porky Pig's rap though. That was good.
That was a good addition to it.
That was entertaining.
Um,
That was
the ending was a little weird. Like they could set up another movie, which I hope they don't. I know there's been talks of them doing another one, but
I mean, who are you gonna get for it?
it, I I had no idea. So, but I gave it 2.5 on Letterbox, which comes in like a C minus for me. I just it was okay. I'm glad I
Uh,
didn't pay for it. So honestly,
yeah, it's probably like I think I probably would come in at like a C plus, but yeah, I'm glad it was already part of a service that I subscribed to.
yeah, I don't have to watch it anymore.
If I'd if I'd gone to the movies and seen this, I would have been pissed.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
So, all right, next week, um, we're gonna watch this new movie coming out. It's very very indie. You
Hmm.
know, there's not been any press around this at
No,
all.
no big names
Um,
or
no, no big names or anything called Suicide Squad. So,
the James Gunn one.
yeah,
Yeah.
the good one from what I hear.
Oh, it's so the Rotten Tomatoes is it's on 98% right now. I think either 98 or 96, which is the highest uh, reviewed out of any DC or Marvel product. So we'll see what the audience thinks of it instead
That's
of the press.
that's a high bar.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really high bar. If you told me it was the best DC movie, okay. I mean, Aquaman and Wonder Woman were good,
Yeah.
right? Shazam was pretty good. But I could see it beating out a lot of those others.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But all the Marvel movies,
Yeah.
really?
So we'll see what
I,
it gets dragged down to when the audience scores start coming in. But with
yeah,
it being highly rated this well with the press and it being James Gunn and Warner Brothers said, do whatever you want to do. Here's your money. Here's what you know. Here's where and
yeah.
everything. But do whatever you want to do. So
Be interesting. All right. In movie news from Deadline and Justin Kroll, we have Blade. M- Now, see, I'm gonna have to try and read this name here. Mogul Mowgli. Helmer Bassam Tariq is Marvel's choice to direct new film starring Mahershala. Is that how you say it?
Mahershala.
Mahershala Ali as iconic vampire hunter. So we have a director. Good. Is it weird to you though that they cast the part before they got the director on board?
Yeah, that's a little. But I mean, they did the same thing with The Rock with Black Adam. 23 years ago when they
Yeah.
announced it. So
Yeah, but that's DC.
that's true.
We
That's
know they're gonna screw stuff
yeah.
up. So says after a thorough search that involved months of meeting a slew of talent, Marvel's new Blade movie has found its director. While a deal is not yet done, well then why are we talking about this? Sources tell Deadline that Bassam Tariq, best known for directing the Riz Ahmed film Mowgli, is in talks to helm the new adaptation of the popular comic. I okay. I can't say that I've seen the other film
I don't even know if I've heard of it.
that he's done. So I don't know. That's going to kind of be a wait and see thing. Marvel strikes me as the type that if he comes in and he's not doing it the way that they envision it being done, they'll just yank him.
Yeah, yank it and start over.
They'll write him, yeah, they'll write him a check, say here, go away.
Right. But knowing them
So
though, they find these directors that do really well, and
yeah,
so they've got it. Kevin Feige's probably seen his work and is like, yeah, I know what I want, and
yeah.
knows what he's wanting him to do. So
hmm Next up from IGN, folks. Tyler, have you got this pulled up?
yeah, is it not loaded for you?
No, it's loading for me. I'm just trying to figure out how to
Oh,
the
uh,
byline.
I don't know how to pronounce that.
I might get in trouble on YouTube if I pronounce that the way it.
I wish I clicked her name or his name, and anyways, it doesn't have a pronunciation. But okay, we'll just say IGN
Shatijnik.
India.
Shatijnik. Um, the article is Black Panther star confirms M'Baku will return for sequel. Black Panther star Winston Duke, who played M'Baku, is returning for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. While speaking to Collider, Duke talked about the emotional script of Black Panther 2. Duke said, "It was very emotional to read the script. It was emotional to pack to go back to set. But we're all a bit of a family now, and we grieve together, and we're making something really special." The movie has already started production last month with Black Panther director Ryan Coogler returning. While talking about making the movie after the tragic passing of star Chadwick Boseman, Marvel Studios chief Kevin Feige said, "It's clearly very emotional without Chad, but everyone's also very excited to bring the world of Wakanda back to the public and back to the fans. We're going to do it in a way that would make Chad proud." Um,
I'm just glad
yeah,
M'Baku's coming back.
yeah,
He was one of my favorite characters in
yeah,
the first movie.
definitely. Um, so that's definitely always it's always good when they get the fan favorite characters back in
Mm-hmm.
there. Um, in other Black Panther 2 news from Games Radar by Jordan Gerblick, Black Panther 2 cast Michaela Cole an unspecified role. She's best known for HBO's I May Destroy You. Um, it's kind of hard to have anything to talk about on this one since we have no idea what she's coming in for.
Right.
But she'll be in the film.
Wonder if she'll be a
Now
villain of
here
some sort, or
it's possible.
yeah. I don't know what villain they're
Possible.
gonna go with. We don't know what Black Panther's gonna be. So
Yeah. Now, this next story, I saw it and I thought it was somehow clickbait,
mm-hmm.
but no, it's not. And we actually reported on something really similar few months back, um, with Wonder Woman
Mm-hmm.
1984. Um, there were concerns about having it on a streaming service at the same time it was in theaters. And this story comes from Deadline by Anthony D'Alessandro. And Scarlett Johansson is suing Disney. Um, her agent slams Disney for a direct attack on her character and leaving talent out of the streaming profit equation. Um, I'm just going to go straight through here and instead of trying to sum up what I've already read from another source. CAA co-chairman and Scarlett Johansson's agent Brian Lord issued a statement Friday in response to Disney's harsh slam against the Black Widow actress in her breach of contract lawsuit versus the Burbank studio. On Thursday, Disney shamed the two-time Oscar nominee by saying her lawsuit showed callous disregard for the pandemic, the latter of which has been the studio's excuse for taking Black Widow day and date in theaters on and Disney Plus premiere. Disney also outed her $20 million salary for the film, which it claims, coupled with the Disney Plus monies of the MCU title, significantly enhanced her ability to earn additional compensation. Now, Lord's statement said, I want to address the Walt Disney Company's statement that was issued in response to the lawsuit filed against them yesterday by our client Scarlett Johansson. They've shamelessly and falsely accused Miss Johansson of being insensitive to the global COVID pandemic in an attempt to make her appear to be someone they and I know she isn't.
Which makes no sense to me at all.
Scarlett, right.
Like, how does
Scarlett,
her wanting to get paid what she's due make her insensitive to the pandemic?
right. It it makes no sense. Um, Scarlett has been Disney's partner on 9 movies, which have earned Disney and its shareholders billions of dollars. The company included her salary in their press statement in an attempt to weaponize her success as an artist and businesswoman, as if that were something she should be ashamed of. Scarlett is extremely proud of the work she and all of the actors, writers, directors, producers, and the Marvel creative team have been a part of for well over a decade. The suit was filed as a result of Disney's decision to knowingly violate Scarlett's contract. They have very deliberately moved the revenue stream and profits to the Disney Plus side of the company, leaving artistic and financial partners out of their new equation. That's it, pure and simple. And it does go on, but it's not really pertinent here to what
Yeah.
we want to talk about. Um, I will say this: Kevin Feige apparently has come out on Scarlett Johansson's side.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so look, from what I read, she got paid 20 million to do the film, but based on the numbers that the movie has done, had it been strictly in theaters, she would have made an additional $50 million.
Yep.
Now, if putting it on Disney Plus had cost her 5 million, she's probably not saying much, right?
All right.
I mean, 5 million is still a lot of money, but with what she's making, she's probably like, okay, we can work this out without doing
Uh,
anything harsh. $50 million is a lot of money.
to me, it's like this is going to set a precedent for a lot of these other actors for movies coming out that's going to be same day and date, because you get a lot of money for percentage of, so she gets a rights to the percentage of the tickets sold, and
Hmm.
it's not in her contract to for anything for Disney Plus. So what whatever's been bought on Disney Plus, she's not getting, and
Right.
that's what the whole point is because she's not getting her money. And like again, it's one of those things where she wasn't asked if it's okay to go to Disney Plus, which I'm sure is a whole big reason them waiting so long to put it out, anyways. But I mean, I'm
Yeah.
Team ScarJo on this one.
And that's the difference between this and what happened with Wonder Woman 84 because they contacted Gal Gadot and
Mm-hmm.
said, hey, what can we do here?
Right.
And I think the settlement they came to was a $10 million check, right?
Yeah, she got extra 10 million, which would have been fine for
So,
something like this.
right,
But
yeah. So,
good luck on that one, Disney.
yeah, it's a bad look
Yeah.
because what has Kevin Feige just done, right? He just came out right before all this and said, we're moving away from these multi-picture deals. We want this to be something people want to be a part of.
Right.
Well, if you're going to screw me out of my money, Disney, I want ironclad contracts. And if they're not going to give that out,
Yeah.
I'm
If you're
not
not
going to
going to
be a
give that to
part
the
of your
people
movie
that we
universe.
hire on, and because I mean this is
And this
100%
isn't
out of his hands. So
and this isn't someone that appeared in a movie that did really well. Like they said, she's appeared in 9
mm-hmm.
films. This was one of your established actors playing one of your established characters that people were waiting 2 years to see.
Right.
And this is how you're treating them. Wow. All right. Next up, unless you got something else on that.
No, I'm good.
From comicbookmovie.com, with a byline here to Josh Wilding. From Thor Love and Thunder, Matt Damon confirms return and teases upgrade to Thor Ragnarok role. Set photos have confirmed Matt Damon will return as the Asgardian actor who portrays Loki in Thor Love and Thunder, and the actor has now teased how this movie will upgrade his Ragnarok cameo. Um, okay, here we go. He says we were kind of reprising a cameo that Luke Hemsworth and I did in the last one. And we had a ball, and so Taika had us back again to run up to kind of run that joke back and upgrade it a little bit.
Yeah.
So that's essentially his quote. Um,
I'm excited.
Now what they say next, is this how they're going to get around this? Do you think?
Let me see.
It says something tells us we'll get to see Damon's Loki die at the hands of Thanos.
No. Comic book movies not the best on their thoughts and things like
I'm
that.
like,
And
I'm like, this is going to be really bad if that's how they. Oh me. Okay. From Screen Rant and Andy Bebacht. DC's Injustice animated movie cast guide. Every confirmed character. And
I
I
can't
know,
wait.
Tyler, this is one that you're. Yeah.
I'm so excited
The
for it.
voice cast. The voice cast for DC's Injustice animated movies finally been revealed, as several familiar actors are portraying some iconic DC comic characters. Um, I'm just gonna scroll right on down to the
Oh yeah,
castings.
please do. There's some good ones.
Justin Hartley as Superman.
Mm-hmm. From Green Arrow to
He was on
Supes.
this. He was, also on this show. Some people may have heard of.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler, I think you watched an episode or two called "This Is Us."
Or 30 or 40 or however many's out.
Here we go. Anson Mount as Batman.
Mm-hmm. It's a good pick.
Yeah, definitely. Janet Varney as Wonder Woman.
She's the Korra from the Legend of Korra Avatar.
Hmm. Laura Bailey as Lois Lane and Ramakrishna. That will be a goodie. Zach Callison as Damian Wayne and Jimmy Olsen. Brian T. Delaney as Green Lantern. Reed Scott as Green Arrow and Victor Zsasz. Every
Oh
time I
boy.
hear Victor Zsasz, I think of Gotham.
Right, every time.
Brandon Michael Hall is Cyborg. That'll be a good one. Yuri Lowenthal is the Flash, Shazam, and Mirror Master.
Good old Spider Man. He's great. Lower
Derek
Yuri
Phillips,
Lowenthal's really good.
yeah, Derek Phillips is Aquaman and Nightwing. Kevin Pollak is Joker and Jonathan Kent. He's I've always liked him as an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Jillian Jacobs is Harley Quinn.
She'll do fine for that one.
Yeah. And then they have other confirmed characters here. Edwin Hodge as Mr. Terrific and Killer Croc. Oliver Hudson as Plastic Man. Um, Anika Noni Rose as Catwoman. Faran Tahir as Ra's al Ghul or Ra's al Ghul, depending on who you're talking to. Fred Tatasciore as Captain Atom, and Andrew Morgado as Mirror Master Soldier. So that's a really good cast, man.
So that's a lot of people are confirming for that movie too.
Yeah. Who's your favorite? Who are you most excited to
I
have?
like the Yuri Lowenthal and of course Justin Hartley. I like a whole lot. So, but
Hmm.
Yuri's who I'll be paying attention to the most, just because he's phenomenal, anyways.
Yeah. As I was going down through there, I was reminded too of another text I sent you about Doom Patrol. That Lex Lang is the voice of a character
Mm-hmm.
in there. So remember when you got a chance to interview him, that was pretty cool. Is that on YouTube?
Should be. I think that was one of our. No, that was just an article on NerdWide.
Okay. All right. Next up from Deadline.com, Justin Kroll reports Batgirl Leslie Grace lands role of Barbara Gordon in new Warner Brothers and DC film. After testing actresses this week, Warner Brothers and DC Films looks to have found their Batgirl. Sources tell Deadline Leslie Grace has been tapped to play Barbara Gordon in the studio's Batgirl. Um, says they were already super high on the rising Afro-Latina star following her breakout role in The Heights. Haven't seen it.
Not yet.
And sources say her audition sealed the deal as the choice. Um, it's hard to say, not having seen her work, how she'll probably do. She'll probably do well, you know.
Just depends on how DCEU wants to do it.
Well, that's the thing. It's the film universe. So how do they want to screw the pooch on this, so to speak?
Right.
Um, let's see. I'm looking for your tweet that you sent me.
Oh, you're fine. It's just her saying she's excited about the role and everything, and is extremely stoked about it. So
There we go. Yeah. I'm beyond excited to embody Barbara Gordon, your Batgirl. I cannot believe what I'm writing right now. Thank you, DC, for welcoming me to the family. I'm ready to give her all I've got. Yeah. It's interesting that they didn't just put like a comic image of Batgirl up on the Hollywood Reporter story that she retweets. They used Yvonne Craig's Batgirl from the Batman
yeah,
66 TV show.
so
That was kind of,
makes you think.
a little bit. All right. Now, here's one about one of our favorite actors. I mean, really. Um, from Screen Rant's Grant Herman's J.K. Simmons is in talks to reprise Justice League's Gordon for Batgirl movie. Um, yeah. I'm in.
I can't wait, and I hope he does come back.
He, yeah, he's in so much stuff right now. I we have obviously he voices Omni Man
The
on
phenomenal Omni Man.
Invincible, the phenomenal Omni Man who's killing everybody. Um, so yeah, I'm all in on that. Let's see here. Warner Brothers news from Variety.com. And the byline belongs to Cynthia Littleton. Warner Brothers is going to produce at least 10 movies exclusively for HBO Max in 2022. Um, so this says Warner Media CEO Jason Killer said Thursday as he declared motion pictures matter and will continue to matter. He spoke as part of AT&T's second quarter earnings call in which he was asked about the company's distribution strategy for Warner Brothers titles next year. Uh, It says next year, Warner Brothers looks to be moving back to a more traditional theatrical release strategy, albeit with a shortened 45 window for exclusive theatrical distribution for many of the theatrical bound titles on its slate. Um, they're going through a transition next year with its planned spinoff from AT&T into a merger with Discovery, whose CEO David Zaslav will take the reins of the combined company should the transaction be approved by regulators. So,
I'm confused. I'm curious to see what movies. But I mean, at
yeah,
least 10 means, with potential plans for more. So,
yeah. We'll see how it works out. I mean, I don't think they're going to be able to go back fully to the way it used to be,
no.
where you would release a movie, it would have its theatrical run, then 2, 3 months later it would show up on a streaming service. That's people aren't going to wait that long anymore. Um, from The Independent in the UK, with a byline to Lewis Chilton, Michael B. Jordan is developing a limited series based on Black Superman Val Zod, says report. Michael B. Jordan's reportedly developing a limited series based around the black incarnation of Superman. The Black Panther star previously discussed rumors that he would be playing Superman in a forthcoming film directed by J.J. Abrams, describing them as flattering. However, a new report in Collider claims Jordan and his production company, Outlier Society, are developing a limited series for HBO Max based on the comic book character Val Zod, who becomes an alternate version of Superman. It's claimed that the project, which is separate to Abrams' film, could potentially feature Jordan in the lead role, but is currently still at an early stage of development, with a writer only just being hired. Um, this is cool.
Yeah, I was.
There is
Go ahead.
there is a trying to remember which comic series it was. There's an issue in that series. It was part of the New 52, and there's an issue in that series where this character first dons Superman's costume. Um, that is spiking because of this news right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's shooting up in value. Um, but I've heard that they may be doing a lot of these sorts of one-offs for DC characters, similar to the Joker movie and this, and the Pattinson Batman movie. And
Again, not smart, but to each their own.
next up from the Hollywood Reporter, an Aaron Couch, Batman Unburied, Winston Duke to voice star as Bruce Wayne.
It's been a good
The
week for
star
him.
is joined by It has. The star is joined by actor Jason Isaacs as Alfred for the Spotify podcast from David S. Goyer. Winston Duke is headed from Wakanda to Gotham City. The Black Panther actor will voice star in Batman Unburied, the upcoming Spotify podcast that hails from the Dark Knight screenwriter David S. Goyer. Duke will star as Bruce Wayne, with Harry Potter actor Jason Isaacs joining as Alfred, Batman's trusty butler. No other castings have yet been announced.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
It's a weird
good choice.
thing for a podcast, but it's still exciting.
I mean, it's kind of a throwback to the way they used to do radio when they had all the plays and serials and stuff
Uh,
done on
what
radio.
was the what was the one with the aliens that
War of the Worlds.
War of the Worlds where people were killing themselves because I thought it was really happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully, we've evolved past that, but I don't think so.
Well, I no, I some of us I think have. I think some of us are still trying to figure out how to get out of the sludge. Um, Next up, The Hollywood Reporter by James Hibbard. Aquaman 2 producer explains why fan campaign to fire Amber Heard was rejected. Peter Safran dismisses social media drive by Johnny Depp supporters to remove Heard from the DC sequel. You got to do what's best for the movie.
No, you don't.
Well, I mean, they didn't on Fantastic Beasts,
Right.
so that's what I'm saying.
So dumb.
Aquaman produ Aquaman producer Peter Safran explained why online efforts to get Amber Heard removed from the superhero sequel were dismissed by the film's creative team. Heard plays aquatic warrior Mera in the franchise and has been the target of an intense lobbying campaign on social media, largely driven by Johnny Depp supporters in the wake of the actor's tumultuous divorce. Um, let's see. Safran said, I don't think we're ever going to react to honestly pure fan pressure. You got to do what's best for the movie. We felt that if it's James Wan and Jason Momoa, it should be Amber Heard. That's really what it was.
Hmm.
Um,
It's poor
okay.
choice if you ask me. Like I don't understand how
I
you come
mean,
out with that statement. I'm just saying, yeah, we don't care. We're just gonna keep her in the movie anyways.
right.
But it makes
I,
no
I,
sense.
I mean, if it was something where accusations were made and it was still up in the air, you know,
Right.
or if the accusations have been proven true and it was just some hardcore Johnny Depp fans that wanted her fired, I'd be like, nah, look, y'all got to get out of here with that. But she admitted that she made the stuff up.
Yep. So let's keep her in the movie. Let's keep making her money.
I just don't understand.
It's
Don't get me wrong, right? Like, I'm still, like, every time I throw on All the Boys Love Mandy Lane, I'm still sitting there going, damn. But, you know, you can't, it's basically a reward to her to let her stay on the movie.
yep.
All right, last up. Seems like we've had a lot of movie news.
Mm-hmm.
From Deadline and Nelly Andriva. Netflix to require COVID vaccinations for actors and other Zone A personnel on its U.S. productions. Um, they become the first major Hollywood studio to implement a blanket policy mandating vaccinations for the cast of all of its U.S. productions, as well as those who come into contact with them on set. Um, she says, I hear the streamer just informed their production teams and partners it will be requiring vaccinations for everyone working in Zone A, which consists of the actors and those who come in close proximity to them. This is going to be interesting because we've heard actors coming out. Um, Tom Cruise was one who really took a stance of before they could require people to get vaccinated like this, he was saying, you have to socially distance. People are counting on us to make this
Mm-hmm.
movie. You have to abide by the guidelines. And and now studios are ramping it up to this. So I'm curious, 'cause there's a lot of well-known people in these Netflix productions.
It's I'm curious to see
Who's
what actors push back, if any, because I mean, a lot of your actors are all for the vaccine and have shown
right?
pictures of them already vaccinated and stuff like that. And this makes me excited. Makes me want to support Netflix even more for them to say, hey, if you're going to be in our zone A, which is you're on the set, you're interacting with these actors and actresses, you have to be vaccinated. And because we saw what happened with The Witcher. I mean, besides Henry Cavill breaking his leg, he got or some of the members getting COVID on the set, which pushed them back and
Mhm.
delayed them. And
Right.
this is this is how you combat that. Losing millions a day or a week or whatever. And this is I am so glad that somebody's doing it and it's a big production studio like this doing it. So good for them.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, I mean, plus, look, there's times where, depending on how they want the scene to play out, say you've got two characters that have to kiss one another.
Mm-hmm.
If one of you, or if neither of you are vaccinated, you're coming into close contact. Depending on the type of kiss, you might even have some bodily fluid swapping. That's going to increase your odds
Mm-hmm.
of getting it. And the other person could be a carrier and show no symptoms. So this is smart business on Netflix's part. Look, if you're doing a job like that for a living, you just got to get
Yeah.
the vaccine.
No, you gotta get the vaccine. Period.
It's
It's and this is good on them for. And this also shows that they care not only about their assets and the production of these things, but their employees as well that they hire on and are keeping work
right.
and stuff like that. They're keeping them safe. So
Hmm.
good for them.
Yeah, definitely. Last, we have our releases for the week of July 26th to August 8th. The Jungle Cruise dropped at the movies and on Disney Plus July 30th. The Green Knight comes out in the US at the cinema July 30th. And Suicide Squad August 5th in the US at the cinema and on HBO Max.
I did not realize that's HBO Max either. Hmm.
So I wonder, because you got John Cena in there, you got Nathan Fillion, you've got Margot Robbie, you've got there, there's some names, and I wonder if we're gonna see more people complain.
Right.
Like, hey, you're putting this up for streaming, and my contract only includes box office.
I wonder because it's Warner Brothers as well. I mean,
Hmm.
they deal with Gal Gadot, so I wonder if I don't know because there's a lot of big name people in there.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money. So next up, we got us some Vidya games. Chris, you been playing anything interesting lately?
Just my usuals.
Yeah. I know I
Yeah.
jumped back into the Avengers one more time because I had their quadruple weekend this past weekend for 4 days. For
Hmm.
quadruple XP weekend, excuse me. Played it a little bit. Still haven't gotten past Clint Barton's story, but with War of Wakanda coming up in 2 or 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks for War of Wakanda, I need to just get everything going back and getting back into it. Been playing Destiny still, Skyward Sword still. Just this past week, I hadn't really been able to do
You're
much due to being ill, but here
y-
we are.
you're really gonna be busy because that's gonna drop probably about the same time that Titans and What If start up. So you'll
Yeah,
be
yeah.
watch.
I'm gonna have August is usually August September is when like all your big video games drop, and so as well as our fall TV shows, and it's going to be a busy season this year. Although
Yep.
Horizon Forbidden West has been delayed, but not officially delayed until early 2022, which everyone knew that was coming anyways. So there was no way it was coming out in 21. But so we'll see. And then the only notable big game news that I have is the August monthly games for PlayStation Plus. PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, there is the new Battle Royale Hunters Arena Legends comes out. And Plants vs. Zombies for Battle the Neighborville for PlayStation 4. And Tennis World Tour 2. Not their biggest drops.
Hold me back.
Right. But Hunter's Arena is supposed to be like one of the next big Battle Royale games because the way the graphics are and the way you play. I will jump into it just to test it out, but I'm curious to see if it grasps me. But there's no telling. I mean, we got it next week is when it drops. So
Can't remember what July was, but I think that July was like I think it was a pretty big month for them.
I think if whatever it was already had. So
I think one of them was like NBA 2K.
Oh, I need to grab some July PlayStation.
The newer NBA game.
Oh, it was the Plague Tale Innocence, Call of Duty Black Ops 4, and WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
Yeah.
So Plague Tale Innocence, people need to play it though.
Yeah.
So it's on Game Pass, so that's where I'll play it. But hold on, I lost my docket.
Uh-oh.
1 second. Clicked the wrong button.
Well,
on my mouse.
You have your.
And then, as far as games, notable releases from 7/26 to 8/8. Tribes of Midgard came out for PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, July 27th, and The Ascent for PC and the Xbox Series and the Xbox One came out on July 29th and on Game Pass. A lot of those are getting some good talk about and good feed if you're into those kind of games. Tribes of Midgard I'll probably try out when it goes on discount, but I got too much going on in my backlog right now to pay attention to that one. But ladies and gentlemen, that has been episode 35 of the NerdWide podcast. Thank you all so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we can't wait to go with you next week. And next week we got Suicide Squad. I'm really excited about that one. Should be a lot of fun due to all of the press and everything it's getting of how popular it is and how good it is. So we'll see if it holds up to those ratings when we come back to you next week. Hopefully neither one of us is. I mean, hopefully both of us are in good health next week, so we don't have to skip out.
Hopefully the audio records.
Hopefully the audio records. That's a big thing as well. So we'll see how that works out. Guys, go to social media. You can follow the NerdWide at nerd_wide on Twitter. You can follow me at Ty_Haynes. And you can follow Chris at MavTN7. As always, if you're on Facebook, you go to nerdwide.com for that one as well. If you search in a little Facebook search bar, you can find us there. But guys, that has been this week of the NerdWide podcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and we cannot wait to get to you next week. Don't forget to wash your hands, stay safe, and get vaxxed.
Later, guys.